All right, we are back again today. Today's date is what? 19th March 2025. Today's date is 19th March 2025. I have a topic for us. How a woman's rights is destroying the family peace, the family unity. How your right as a woman, your right as a woman is gradually destroying your home. Let's dwell in. But before we continue, I have to address this. I just have to say it for future sake, for posterity. Currently in Rivers State, my country, the president has suspended a sitting governor and declared state of emergency. No matter how much you want to turn a blind eye from government, the truth still remains that they are the highest authority and the highest oracle. Any decision, any effect that they take has a serious impact on our day-to-day activities, on our lives generally. So whether we talked about it or not, the effect still remains. But anyway, I'm not here to talk about government today. Let's talk about marriage. Because we have a lot to work on our ideology first before we think of any other thing. How is your right as a woman a problem in your marriage? You got married to a beautiful, handsome, hardworking, responsible young man. Because the question is, if he wasn't responsible, why did you marry him? As a woman, the greatest power you have is to be mindful of the kind of authority you choose to submit under. Because me and you know that immediately you sign in for it, you are in. You are in. You have to submit. People might be wondering, why is he always talking about women? There are videos I made where I address women. I address men too. You don't keep a leader and the follower in the same class and teach them. You don't keep a CEO and the workers in the same conference room and give them the same teachings. That is why I'm always very specific. When I'm addressing the men, when I'm addressing husbands, I channel it only to husbands. When I'm addressing the women, I address it. The wives, I channel it to the wives and the mothers. And when I'm addressing the children, I also channel it to the children. When I'm addressing the general public, watch all my videos. You will see these things for yourself. It's high time we come together to address this once and for all. Once and for all, and get this understanding. The problem is we not having the ability to identify the root cause of our problem in marriages. We keep having marital crises up and down, divorces here and there. We don't even understand the root cause of it. We don't. But I'm here to do the thinking for us. We are not thinking. That's why we are not saying. I'm sorry to say it. We are not. Because there is no way we will sit down and process these things that we will not see it. This thing is not rocket science. Immediately you start thinking, you'll be able to add this one to this, add this one to this, and see the answer. It's that simple. It is that simple. So this message is not just for married women, but to also single young women who are aspiring to become wives, who are looking forward to become Mothers, this message is for you too. Follow me. What could be the root cause or one of the root cause of our marital issues? Because I'm going to pick only this one and address it in this video. Like I said, there are a lot of it, but this is only one out of all. A woman's right. A woman's right in marriage is one of the greatest downfall of marriages. You notice in a society, a young man will be like, I can't marry a graduate. I want to marry a graduate. I want to marry a civilized woman. I want my wife to be exposed. I want to marry a high-profile wife. She must be a graduate. She must pass through the four corners of the university. It all makes so much sense. It makes so much sense. You shouldn't marry an illiterate. It makes sense. But before you even agree to marry as a man, the first thing you should look for is a value who will fit in and blend in whatever career or in whatever purpose that you are building in life. You know, there's what we call in physics angle of deviation. There's also what we call cause and effect. These principles, we don't understand them and how it impacts our life. We tend to make mistakes again and again and again without even realizing where the mistake is coming from. Let's talk to men first. The whole video is for women, but the intro part, let's address men. You are a young man who wants to build a family. He wants to build a home. You want to marry. You have gotten to a stage in your life, pressure up and there, that it's time for you to marry. But what you fail to understand is this. Before you pick a wife, you should have something that you are building first. Long term, that you have started working on it. Be it career, be it business, be it anything at all. There should be something that is sustainable long term that you are working on as a man. If you don't have it, then you don't deserve to marry. Go back and find it first. Start working on it before you think of getting married. In the Bible, God gave Adam Garden of Eden first before Eve came. Adam was taking care of the garden, keeping the garden clean, neat. Adam was naming all the animals. Adam was running up and down until God saw that it was not good for Adam to be alone. Adam needed an assistant who will also help him in the garden, not an assistant who will be working in another garden. Follow me. So before you get married, you're supposed to have something that you are building. You're supposed to start that your dream that you have always wanted to become when you grow up. Before you even think of picking a wife, you should start working on those things first. For instance, you want to be a doctor, start working on getting a hospital. Start plans of building a hospital. You want to become a banker, start process of owning a bank or businesses that is relating to that your career. Start something, start building something first. Start working on something futuristic. I'm not talking about something like now. Start the process. Start working on it, even though you have not actually achieved it. But you should have an overall dream, a long-term goal, long-term dreams, long-term things that you want to achieve that will better your life and the life of your family that you're about to bring into existence. Yes, sir. That should be your primary focus first for women. That is what you would have used your 20s to do first and secure first. You should have a farmland first where you are growing crops, where you are growing food, where you are raising animals first before you think of bringing in a wife. Why is that so important, Ebreso? I'm in a haste to marry. I'm in a haste to do this thing. I'm in a haste. I can't wait. I will build this thing together with my wife. That is a lie. That is a very fat lie. Start it first. Even though you don't complete it, but start something. There should be. In fact, as a woman, part of the criteria before you agree to marry any man is that he must show you what he is building. Show me your garden first before I agree to marry you. So by so doing, as a woman, you'll be able to see that this garden has enough capacity to sustain him and sustain me coming in. Anyways. But what is happening in our today's world? You notice an engineer will marry a lawyer. A doctor will marry a banker. A businessman will marry an office personnel. You know, a soldier will marry this other, mixing it all like that without even understanding the effect of what they are doing. I will draw your attention to the effect of marrying a woman outside your field, marrying a woman outside your purpose, marrying a woman outside what you are building. Immediately you are a business person, for instance, right? Or let's say you are a farmer. Let me use what I am so good at. You are a farmer, and then you have your land where you are growing crops. You have your garden where you are growing crops. Good morning, big bro. I'm fine. You have a garden where you are growing your crops. And now instead of to marry a farmer wife, a wife who is also a farmer, instead of for you have a farm, a mega farmland that you want to grow crops, or that you are already working on, you have your garden set. Instead of you to marry a wife that will come in and assist you breed that garden, that's your career, that's your farm. As a man, you now choose to marry a medical doctor or an accountant, so that you prove to the society, is it not me? Even though I'm a farmer, my wife is a nurse. Even though I am this, my wife is this. Let me draw your attention to the effect of that. A woman supposed to submit under one authority. A woman is not wired to submit to two different authorities. It's not possible. You can't save two masters at a time. The Bible says it is not even me. How then are you expecting your wife to work for a company? Let's say now I'm a farmer, right? I have a farm. Instead of to marry a farmer wife, which will join force with me to build my garden, to build my farm, that will be for the benefit of the whole family. I now neglect that to go and marry a banker. So when I'm going to my farm, my wife will be going to bank. She has a career. You cannot stop her. She has a career and she's so passionate about her career. She wants to grow too. So she will create career surrounding that bank. That is the only way she can be satisfied in life. She has to grow her career. She can't pause her career to grow yours. It doesn't make any sense. Why? Both of you went through the same primary school, a man and a woman, the same primary school, a man and a woman, the same secondary school, a man and a woman, the same university, and all of a sudden you still want the same woman to abandon what she has been building and pitch to the man in a different field entirely. How does that work? It doesn't work that way. You will always bring disunity in the family. How? I will do the thinking for us now. Don't worry. When your wife works in a bank while you are in the farm, or when your wife works in the bank while you are an engineer in your company, you're working in your company as an engineer, right? You notice that another man, your wife is automatically submitting to another authority, her boss, her director. So her director is deciding how her life should be. They will design schedule, how she will be working, her time, and most of the time she will spend it there. The director will pay her salary, or her boss will pay her salary. And decide how she runs. And to even worst it all, she will be submitting to the boss because she will be answering to the boss. The boss will be calling her Ngozi, Blessing. Why are you not doing this thing? And she will bow, I'm sorry, sir. Sir, I will do it. That is submissiveness. She answers to authority. And then you still expect that same woman to come back from work after already submitting to authority at work, to come back home and still submit to you, the husband. So when the woman comes back, my wife, go to the kitchen, cook for me. My wife, do this. And you still expect her to still submit under your own authority too. It doesn't work that way, bro. It just doesn't work that way. She will be struggling. I'm not saying it's not possible, but she will be struggling with it. And at some point, this these things has a psychological effect. Your wife is supposed to submit under only your own rulership. You will notice that when she puts to bed, in the long run, when she puts to bed, highest they will give her is 3 months, maybe 6 months. She will still have to look for a way for the family and still resume work. She still have to. Besides, she has a career in her head that she needs to build. And when she abandons her career to take care of the kids, to take care of the home, automatically she feels that she has given up her own life for you, because those children bears your name, even though they are your kids. These things has a psychological effect on our women. So if you so much want to marry a banker, if you so much want your wife to be an accountant, please, your first primary focus is to build banks. Own a bank. If you cannot own a bank, don't even look at marrying a banker. It doesn't make any sense. Own a bank so that your wife will come in and work in your bank as the manager of that bank. By so doing, whatsoever career your wife ever wants to make in life, automatically by the reason of working for you, she is already submitting to you both at work and at home. So at work, she is submitting to the CEO of the company, which is her husband. When she comes back, it's still the same husband that she is calling my lord. Secondly, the husband will be the one paying her salary. A salary. And the husband will be the one to decide how her schedule will be like. You decide all those things, and you even give her room to grow, build her career. You want to marry a nurse? Own a hospital. So your wife will be the managers of all the nurses. By so doing, she grows in her career. You have a farm? Marry an agriculturist. Marry a woman who has passion in farming. This thing is not about focusing on physical beauty. It's not focusing on big bum bum. No. On a long run, the big bum bum will not save you. On a long run, we will keep having marital crisis and marital issues. A wife was designed to serve the husband. That is why before you marry, even as a woman, the first thing that you need to do is to properly check The kind of authority that you're about to submit to. Does this authority worth it? Is this man responsible enough for me to submit under his rulership? Can I see his garden? What is he building? Can I see what is his plans in the next 5, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years? What is his short-term plans and his long-term goals? How do I fit in? Let me tell you the benefits of fitting in as a wife. When you marry him, let's say now you are an accountant, you want to become an accountant, you have your career, you have passion to be an accountant or to be a nurse. When you marry a husband who is already in that field, number one is that you, apart from the fact that you can grow in that field, when children start coming in, let's say you put to bed, you'll be able to take enough of and still be paid, because you will stay in the house taking care of the kids and still be working. You can still place call, give some instructions, tell your secretary to do some kind of stuff for you. You don't have to rush to resume work. You can now cut, once baby start coming in, you can now cut your hours. Your husband will understand, because your primary purpose, your primary assignment is family first before career. But in today's world, we pick career even before family. We can sacrifice family for career instead of to sacrifice career for family. We don't even know what we are doing. A woman will go to university and come out and be telling the husband, I know my rights. In school, I went through university, they taught me my rights. I know my rights. You cannot tell me that. I know my rights. Any wife, if you are a wife who claims or who claims to have rights in your husband's house, it's a clear sign that you are a bad wife. Because the first agreement you need to make with yourself before you even get married is to decide either to marry, because marriage and your rights are mutually exclusive events. The two cannot work hand in hand. It's not possible. You cannot have your rights and still agree to be a wife. Because what you fail to understand is that as a woman, all your rights is a feminine right. All the rights that they taught you in school or you read anywhere, your rights as a woman are feminine rights. And when you get married to a man too has his rights, a masculine right. And you can't submit where you think that you have rights. Imagine all soldiers telling the generals, maybe the general of an army is coming to address, or it's coming to give instructions, or yes, instructions to the soldiers, the followers, on deployment. Okay, this set of battalion soldiers will be deployed to go and fight war in so place. Imagine the soldiers telling the generals, sir, we know our rights. We cannot go there. We know our rights. Leadership automatically will be destroyed. Imagine a CEO telling a worker, or the CEO is telling the worker to do this, do that, and the worker is telling the CEO, sir, you cannot ask me to do this and do that. I know my rights. If you have your right and you know your right, please, please, nobody's dragging your right with you. But please, don't think of getting married if you are strong with this your right, knowing your right. I'm not saying that men should because of this step on women and then and all of that. An irresponsible man is an irresponsible man. You shouldn't submit under the rulership of an irresponsible man. And again, you will even have a greater power as a woman when you come into that marriage with value. That is why you need to marry a man who is already ahead of you in that your career. If you so much want to be a banker, if you so much want to be a nurse, please let your husband own a hospital. If you want to be an accountant, let your husband own an institution that you will be able to grow in that your career. Immediately you want to grow your career outside the family company, outside your husband. That's where the problem will always start. And you notice that the man will not even be able to treat you anyhow because the man understands the value you are bringing into the company. So if anything should happen and both of you are not together, you will just walk out, or you can easily use your power as a woman to regulate the man in a feminine, in a very, very soft, good way. Okay, my husband, since you keep doing this thing and I've been saying it and it's not working, no problem. I'll quietly go to my father's house and stay for some time until things are stable. When things are stable, I will come back. What that does is that automatically, when you move out, he understands perfectly well that you are not going to show up for work. And if you're not showing up, that's a problem. There will be lapses in his business. And he wouldn't want that, except you were not bringing in value. Except you were not bringing in value. When you bring in value to the man cannot disrespect you. Never. Never. I'm not saying that the man cannot correct you. I don't know. Today's modern Gen Z thinks that correcting a woman is disrespect. It is always a man's place to mold a woman into shape. Mold into shape. I use the word mold because immediately the man marries you, ownership has been transferred from the husband in an African settings. Ownership has been transferred from the family of the wife of the woman to the husband. Just like a mother and a child. The child belongs to the mother owns the child. If you administer anything to the child, those things belongs to the mother. The same thing with husband and wife. If you are finding it difficult to understand these themes, please remain single. Nobody's forcing you. Nobody's forcing you. Nobody. And men, please, men, it's high time we stop all this love, 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 love. Please. It's supposed to be born, 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 instead of love, love, love. Love is temporary feelings, whereas born is everlasting, everlasting connection. Born cannot be broken. Born is eternal. Born is eternal, whereas love is temporary. If I give you $1 million, now you will be excited, you'll be happy. You will love me, you sing praises, you will start worshiping me. But what happens when that money finish? It's temporary. Or what happens when tomorrow I don't give you that money or I do something that you don't like? You notice that you will not love me again. But no matter what a child do to the father still understands that what I have with my child is not love. The mother understands that what I have with my children is not love. It's born. And because it's born, the mother will be able to mold those children into shape. Because in a place where once you notice a mother who introduces love to the children, automatically the mother will spoil the children. And the children will grow up to become irresponsible. And the society, guess what, will blame who? Will blame the mother. Say that this child, they didn't train you well. They didn't train you well. That's because in a place where the mother was supposed to mold the child into shape, the mother was busy playing love with the child. Let's confirm that our mic is on. Okay. Please. This is a little charge to us. We should reevaluate this situation and take it very serious. As a man, you want to marry, first of all, have a career, have something that you are working on. Use your teens, use your 20s, plan on something that you want to build. Have a goal, have a purpose. So that you will marry a woman who will blend into that purpose. And both of you will be able to work on achieving those dreams. If it is too big, if that dream is too big, you bring in the second wife. African culture. Anyways, this is just me coming in to charge us. The root cause of our marital issue is number one, women have now taught right. So they now know their right. And what they fail to understand is that their right is mutually exclusive event with a man's right. Feminine is opposite of masculine. So whatever rights that they are teaching you as a woman is direct opposite with a man's rights, because the man has also passed through the same university and understand that him too he has rights. So when a positive right conflicts with a negative right, there will always be issues. The two cannot blame. So one needs to kill, either the man needs to subdue his rights and blend with the woman's rights, or the woman needs to quench her rights and blends with the man's rights. That is the only time we can have eternal peace at home. And again, for that to happen, a woman shouldn't submit under any other authority. If you have a wife who calls her pastor daddy, and at everything that happens, she runs to the pastor for the pastor to administer counseling to her, you are gone. Just know that you are single. Your wife is submitting to her pastor. So whatever happens, your wife will be referencing the pastor at home. Pastor, daddy did not say this. Oh, pastor said that this thing is wrong. Pastor said that you shouldn't do it like this. During our time, when a husband and a wife has issues, and they bring it to the council to resolve. When a husband and a wife has issues and they bring it to the council during our time to resolve, what always happens is this: they will start scolding the wife in front of the husband and in front of everybody. Why did you do this? You wouldn't have done this like this. Why did you say this? Why didn't you do it like this? When they are done scolding the woman, they will tell the woman to excuse us. The woman will go outside and they will start scolding the man. You are the leader. Immediately you put a man and a woman, what they call counseling. Today, where you put a man and a woman in the same room and start administering counseling to them, you have already equalized their leadership. You have already destroyed it by thinking that you are solving it. You don't counsel a man and a woman in the same room. It doesn't work that way. It just doesn't work that way. You can talk to the woman in front of the husband, but you don't talk to the husband in front of the wife. You don't do that. Because at the end of the day, both of them will have to go home. And when you finish scolding the man in front of the wife, both of them will go home, and whatever the man wants to do, you will notice that the wife will be like, the counselor, the person that counseled us, the pastor did not say this. You are not doing it the way they say we should do it. By so doing, you are ripping off the leadership of that man. School the wife in front of everybody, in front of the husband, but don't school the husband in front of the wife. I wish I'm able to bring this little light to us. The reason why this thing is deep and this thing is broad, I have the key solution to our marital issues handy like this. Handy, face hand. And whoever cares to listen and apply it, you see the result. You see the result. I don't want this video to be too long, and I'm preparing for work. Just wanted to drop this for us. Thank you very much. Ebreso Kwaisa, your revolutionary thinker. I will always do the thinking for us. I will always do the thinking for us. Thank you very much.